anyways, but yeah, I got to thinking, I'm like, isn't this essentially just a dollhouse for boys? I don't know. I guess what's the difference? Other than maybe because it's populated with knights, that it's for boys. I don't know. Hey,
Uh, Hello. Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
so is it pronounced Theron or is it Theroon?
Taran. For some reason, my parents decided to put a H in my name. Well,
Okay,
so I'm a little confused by that.
guys. So
But
that's your real name.
yeah.
Okay. It's no, I'm not making fun of it. It is not a conventional name, especially not for an Englishman.
Uh, well, I think. Well, I think you could probably tell my name is probably like an immigrant name. My parents are from Sri Lanka, so I guess that kind of makes sense.
Oh yeah, fair enough. But yeah, Theron makes my thumbnails. So obviously not for the last few videos because you've been in the United States and Canada, right?
Yeah, actually, the reason why I've been able to be like on this stream is because like of the same time zones. Although like I'm a little interested in, I don't know, do you have like work tomorrow? Because if so, that wouldn't it be like, I don't know, maybe a five like 6 hours sleep?
Hmm. I don't know. I'm staying up late tonight, so
Okay.
yeah. But what's happening? How was your trip to America? Well, I guess you're still there. So how's
Well,
everything
actually,
there?
I'm in Canada, but yeah, to America it was only like for a few days. Visiting yeah, I have cousins all over North America on my mom's side, and I was only able to like visit there like for a few days, 2 days there, and the other 2 days pretty much just a journey, like an 8 hour journey between Canada and America. Like I can see why you guys like basically take like planes between states.
Yeah, it's a big country. And just
Hmm.
I've been to Canada just briefly. Um, but yeah, it's even bigger.
Yeah, and since it was only 2 days, I could only be in like New York and New Jersey. Yeah, but I guess one like noticeable thing, and I think you probably like slightly mentioned this in your like videos, is that the houses like are much bigger than in Europe. Like Canada, in the houses in Canada and America, like much bigger, especially with the basements. But even then, like they're wider.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Although
You
I,
guys have like row houses in parts of England,
yeah,
anyways. Not that we don't have those in certain cities of America, but I think they're more common over there.
yeah. Although I've only been to like New York and New Jersey, so I probably have like a limited view of things.
Well, New Jersey is the most densely populated state in the United States, and I'm. What part of New York were you in? New York City?
Well, I'm not even sure. Well, I managed to like see the New York Times building. I saw the Statue of Liberty, like the Empire State Building. Yeah, what else? Oh yeah, the New York Stock Exchange. Yes, basically some of the tourist areas.
Gotcha. But yeah, it's that. Excuse me. That's a pretty densely populated area. Hey,
Hello.
yeah. Ever saw bored? Okay, I'm assuming that's not your real name. This is what's happening, dude?
What's up?
Hey,
I didn't know
you're gonna have to
this is going on. It's
fix
so
your
cool.
audio. If you want to talk, you're gonna have to fix that audio, dude.
Yeah, this sounds
What's on
like
audio?
Chipmunks meets a robot.
Yes.
Okay, 1 second.
Talk like a normal person or you're getting booted. Russia is bigger, yes it is, but that's also largely uninhabitable because it's so fucking cold up there. That's actually true with most of Canada though, too.
Yeah, I actually messed up like my, or well, like had very little choice for my videos since I was basically like editing like without my laptop. So and I couldn't find any like decent like audio editing software. So yeah, I guess that kind of like hurt my video.
Hey, it is what it is. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't I've tried editing on the phone before and it's not for me.
yeah,
I need the
yeah,
computer.
yeah.
But Gotcha. So you're in the Western Hemisphere for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, but like I'm pretty much like leaving like this Thursday, so yeah, my 2 weeks are nearly up anyway.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, what'd you think of it?
It's pretty alright. I guess the like one problem is like it's kind of like the same in a way like with the UK and I assume Australia and like probably a lot of the other like industrial countries in that you have a lot of like options. I mean like you have a lot of like the same restaurants, like the same like roads, like street like posts like it would be much more different like if I say like gone to like India or the Middle East or Africa because I'd at least notice much of a difference. But I get no, but I guess that's one of the tiny like quote unquote downsides of like the neoliberal like capitalism, which is you're all there's like less diversity, but I guess that's the cost of like being richer. I
It's
guess
homogenizing.
yeah.
Okay. I am going to take the 8 values test. Do you want to take it with me?
Oh wait, what test?
8 values.
Oh okay.
All right. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's see here.
okay.
Just answer the
Uh,
questions with me or whatever.
okay, yeah. Because I don't think I'm able to like multitask that much on. Okay, yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Let's see here. How do we start this? I'm stupid. Next. Oh wait. Back. Okay. Gun ownership should be prohibited for those without a valid reason. I disagree.
Yeah, yeah, I guess, yeah, disagree.
I think
Um,
gun ownership should be a right, and everybody has the right to self-defense, and that is a valid reason.
um, yeah, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure for me, and like the inverse, it's probably like maybe like mental illness or like criminal like convictions. So yeah,
Yeah, if you've been institutionalized, like they can prevent you from gun ownership here in the United States, which I don't think is a crazy position. So
yeah,
the United Nations should be abolished. I think the United Nations as is a terrible institution.
um,
But
yeah.
I think
Well,
something. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm probably gonna say the same thing as you, but like we might as well need some kind of like it's you know union of like nations, but I do think maybe like its role should be like diminished
I
somewhat.
mean, I think it's largely discredited itself. But
Yeah,
I think, yeah, some international institution of that sort would be useful.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but I think it would be better to be like a league of democracies or something like that. But I'm just going to
yeah.
disagree for now because it's what we have. Gun
Hmm.
ownership. Oh, wait. What? I thought we already
You
did this
gone?
one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, I mean, it depends, but yeah, sure.
You're right.
You keep on,
Almost did
yeah,
back again. Is it important that we maintain the traditions of our past? I don't know. It's like some traditions are definitely good, some are bad.
depends.
Yeah, it depends.
I mean,
I don't know.
it makes more
Is
sense for me to say yes, but yeah, again, depends.
I'm gonna go with a neutral position.
But
Re
actually, I guess from a more conservative, like political perspective, and this is more like from an Edmund Burke, you won't like get this from like one of the from like say Paul Joseph Watson, but like it's important to maybe like focus on our traditions because it's very hard to create a society, but very easy to destroy a society. So that's I guess the backbone of like conservative philosophy.
Sure. Reason is more important than maintaining our culture.
Um,
I think your
uh,
culture should be based on reason, like
yeah,
in part, anyways. So I guess I'm gonna say
yeah, yeah, I agree.
massively agree. Abortion should be prohibited in most or all cases. I disagree.
And
What's your
I
position
pretty
on
much
this?
agree. So yeah, yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty much like full on agree. So yeah, that's the main difference.
Okay, let's see here. We got somebody else in the stream. Progressive apostate. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you? What's up?
I'm doing fine. I think this is the first time that we've actually like spoken in person.
We've
I'm
interacted
not
on Twitter
mistaken.
a few times, haven't we?
Yeah, we interact on Twitter quite a bit, but I don't know if I've
Okay.
actually like spoken to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I recognize you from, well, I assume Twitter.
Yeah, I'm around.
And you're a progressive apostate. You are no longer of the left. Is that what I'm picking up on?
Yeah. I'm so glad you picked up on that because like so many people don't get that.
You're like Dave Rubin. You
Yeah. I used to be on the left, and now I'm a conservative. Well, no,
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm a conservative by any stretch, but I'm not a progressive.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. We're just taking the test. So I'm the one answering the question, so I'm just answering for myself. But pitch on in whenever on what you think. Okay.
So
Quality
education.
quality education is a right of all people. Again, declaring something a right doesn't make it a reality. So like I don't like I guess like that's an ideal to shoot for, but you can't
Yeah.
just make it. You can't will it into existence. So I'm gonna disagree. Environmental regulations are essential. Oh, this is a good one. I actually slightly agree because I think obviously you can overregulate, but with a lot of environmental questions, you do have like it's not nobody can own the air, so you can't have like private property being the regulation there. So if somebody's just spewing gas or whatever into the air that we all breathe, you need some sort of rule on that. So including a polluter, or maybe like some sort of polluter pay sort of thing. So that's what I think. It is important to maintain our national sovereignty. I definitely agree with that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely no arguments there.
Yeah, I mean,
It probably depends on which country you're asking from.
Well, and I suppose
like in Britain.
some people would say that our the immigration system in the United States, where we do have a decent amount of illegal flow of people, would be undermining our system of sovereignty. Or, I guess it depends on like I think sovereignty in and of itself is a good ideal. So it is important that we think in the long term beyond our lifespans. Sure. Why not? I mean, like,
yeah, I guess like people ask this because like I don't know, right, how do I say this? Like you can probably care about your children, your grandchildren, and maybe your great grandchildren, but after a while, like with your great grandchildren, you just think, okay, what's the point? Like at that point, it'll just I don't know, it'll be too much like I don't know work to like but in terms of like long term like government policy, I don't know, I guess maybe it makes sense, but in the next like 5,000 years it'll be a lot harder to care. I guess that's more relevant to the question.
sure. I know that like think of the children is the way that certain people like to shoehorn a lot of bullshit into government. But in general, yeah, I think that like longevity is that should be
Yeah,
valued.
I don't necessarily look at the question as like a think of the children sort of notion.
Okay.
I view it as more of like what can I do in my life to make the world after I die a better place.
Have a lasting impact is what you're saying. Okay, wait. No, you're not getting back in, Eversol board. You fucked up. So sorry, dude. Government surveillance is necessary in the modern world. Necessary how? Like for safety? I guess that's I disagree. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I
it
guess
really
like
depends on the context. It's a very hard question to answer, just a yes or no.
Right. I think that's more likely to be abused than it is to actually provide safety. I mean, I obviously I'm sure we can find examples of it making us safer, but I generally disagree.
and also like say terrorist attacks, which surveillance is meant to like prevent, they're like pretty like few. So to like they're like very little like without surveillance, like justify the surveillance in the first place.
Sure. Same-sex marriage should be legal.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with it. Okay, easy. Drug use should be legalized or decriminalized.
agreed.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hate it, but agree.
The two easy ones in a row.
Yeah. Government should be accountable to the international community. Again, this goes to the sovereignty question. Like how? What? What exactly? Like,
Yeah. What does accountability mean?
right? It's like, so if a nation like Russia invades their neighbor in such an egregious fashion, I don't mind other nations cracking down on them with sanctions and shipping weapons to their enemies. So I guess I'm going to say agree. But if you're talking about some like supranational organization that has undermined sovereignty in a meaningful way, then I'm going to say no. So
Yeah, like if the question is talking about like the United States committing to like international organizations like their jurisdiction, yeah, like I would disagree with that. But in general, yeah, I would agree.
okay. Children should be educated in religious or traditional values. I wouldn't do that, but if you want to do that, I don't care. I don't think should be a requirement, or is that all necessary?
I disagree. I mean, I'm with you on this. I mean, I think it's important. I think it's important to teach children like sort of a baseline level of understanding. Like, I think they should be aware of religious tradition,
Oh,
but
I
I
have a
don't
problem
think
with
that
that,
they
yeah.
should be right. I don't. They definitely shouldn't be educated in it in the sense that they were being indoctrinated.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't want like government like forcing like your religion, but like I would prefer like a culture or like parents like teaching like traditional values or religious values.
If you want to do that in your own home, that's fine. Or if you
Yeah,
want to have a private school that does that, by all means,
yeah.
you go ahead. It is better to maintain a balanced budget than to ensure welfare for all citizens. I agree.
Agree.
Yeah. I mean, like, when you're talking about that, you're talking about a social welfare state, which has its problems. We're talking about thinking about future generations or whatever. Well, guess what? Debt is one of those issues for future generations because they're the ones who are more likely going to have to pay for it. So next. It is necessary for the government to intervene in the economy to protect consumers. Disagree. Like, if somebody's committing fraud, I don't have a problem with that. But that's basically the only circumstances. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think like basic safety stuff should be in place?
I mean, I think like just basically preventing fraud, like making sure like you're like giving the service that you said. So like maybe in a contract, but like other than that, like very little like regulation, if any, for consumers.
Yeah, I think generally the government should err on the side not to intervene in the economy.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. A better world will come from automation, science, and technology. I mean, like, you can definitely come up with
Sure.
apocalyptic scenarios of that, but I think it's more likely to help us than it is to hurt us. So I'm going to strongly agree. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Skynet.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Like, but sometimes I think when I see this statement, like, who would disagree with this? But like, I've been on the internet, so I know who would disagree with this.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you think about that Google algorithm that was like super smart or whatever? I don't know. Is that going to be the end of us all? I hope not.
Which algorithm are you referring to?
I forget it, but like, it was a news story about a month ago, and it was like sentient, and it was what do we call it? It was like being an asshole to the guy who created it.
They talk about like the technological singularity as being like this like a super intelligent AI that can just do like deep learning. So they say that would be kind of like the end of all technology because it could come up with new technologies and replicate itself and potentially do all those things. But I wouldn't be too worried about it. I think
Okay.
overall it's very easy. Like science is good.
Hopefully it serves our interests.
Yeah, technology is very good.
Okay. The general populace makes poor decisions. It depends on the
Sure.
context. Obviously, anybody in any context can make poor decisions. I think when you ask people to act collectively, they're very unlikely to think about what is best for the collective, such as it is. I think people are far better at making decisions individually than they are for everyone else. So I'm just going to stay neutral on this one. What do you guys think?
I
think
agree.
people are irrational.
Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Well, that's just it. People are irrational. So you go ahead.
Okay, so I agree. I think the general populace does make poor decisions.
Okay.
I mean, you see it, I think, with voting trends. Like, I think the average person decides like how soon before the vote? Like 3 days?
See, but that is the rational decision to not put any thought into it. In fact, the rational decision would be not to vote at all because it's not like the outcome's going to change because
Yeah,
you the
and
individual.
I watched the video that you did on this. I think you called it like rational ignorance.
Not my concept,
Yeah.
but yes, that's what it's called.
Yeah, exactly. So in that sense, yes, like I don't expect the general populace to have the kind of body of knowledge that people that are politically engaged like we are have going into the
Yeah.
election. But in the context of you're voting for the person like in the executive branch of government, like you want to have I would think you want to have like uh, a better depth of understanding of the choice you're going to make there.
Okay. Traditions are of no value on their own. I don't necessarily agree. I think Theron was saying earlier that it's harder to create a society than it is to destroy one, and that
Mhm.
if a tradition came about, it probably came about for a reason. So, but obviously there are traditions that are erroneous that we can ditch, I think. But
True.
those are my thoughts in general.
True. And to add, like traditions could also, I mean, they're kind of like a connection to like our ancestors who we've like never seen or interacted with. It's kind of a sense of continuity in a way. So that's another reason why we keep traditions.
There you go. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Steve,
Hello.
for having me on. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, no problem.